Hello, I'm Jason Andera of Midco Sports, and I've been waiting a long time to cover high school softball. There's been high school softball, the club version, the fall version, for several years, but now that they've moved to the spring and it's sanctioned by the South Dakota High School Activities Association, frankly, we have more time to cover high school softball, and I'm excited to get in and promote the sport that has been so much fun to watch over the years. And to promote the sport, we're going to have a weekly show called Fastpitch Focus. And in Fastpitch Focus, we're going to take a look at my power rankings for Class AA, Class A, and Class B. And then hopefully we'll get some coaches on, and we've got a couple coaches this week to talk a little bit more about the fast pitch scene, the fast pitch teams that they coach, and the competition that they've been able to take a look at so far. So the big story this spring, can we get any games in? And lately, these last couple weeks, it's been getting a little bit warmer and more warmer, and fields across the South Dakota landscape are starting to thaw out, and teams are able to get out and play some ball. So it's been a lot of fun seeing just these teams try to get their feet underneath them. And just to explain the landscape a little bit, for years, these players in high school have been part of club teams, and their club teams sometimes start in the spring and go through the summer. And if they participate on those club teams at this point in the season before during the South Dakota High School Activities Association season, they are not able to participate in high school softball. So there's a lot of players, some juniors, seniors that have been doing this for years that decided, I'm not going to play school ball. I'm not going to play the sanctioned softball in the spring. I'm going to stay with my club team. So there's a lot of younger players, but then some teams, just the opposite. They've had a lot of kids decide to go out and play spring ball and play competition in the South Dakota High School Activities Association softball season. So just FYI, we're learning a lot, and hopefully we'll learn a lot together. If you've got any good information or story ideas we can do on Fast Pitch Focus, definitely let me know. All right, let's get into our new rankings. First week of rankings was we were just guessing. Teams had played one or two games. We didn't know who was all out for softball, and now we're a week or so in. We got a little better idea. Number one in Class AA, the Harrisburg Tigers. They have started out with a 5-0 record. They've beaten some of the top teams in the state so far, and they have gotten out to the best start so far. They got wins against Yankton, O'Gorman, Sturgis, Rapid City Stevens, and Mitchell. They've got Pierre coming up, as well as Rapid City Central coming up on Friday, and then next Tuesday have a date with Jefferson, so we'll see how that goes for the Tigers. At number two, I've got Lincoln. They have just the one loss so far. They lost to Washington last week, but have a lot of good hitting, a lot of good pitching. They should be a team to definitely keep an eye on. Had a big win Tuesday night over Mitchell. Number three, we've got Jefferson, another team that's really trying to evolve and get things going. Their only loss so far to Lincoln, and that was one of the first games of high school softball this year, and it was a high-scoring, good-quality game, and you can tell those teams are definitely ready to compete. Washington comes in at number four. Washington got the win against Lincoln, which really surprised some people because they have such a young squad, and their only loss of the year to Jefferson. So everybody kind of beating everybody in the Sioux Falls schools so far this year. And then at number five, we've got Brookings, who is off to a 2-0 start. Got wins against Watertown and Aberdeen to get things started. And Jefferson, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Mitchell on the slate for them. And as we were covering some of those first games in Sioux Falls, where teams were playing against each other, we had a chance to catch up with the coaches of Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson, and Roosevelt to talk a little bit about their teams.
Madison Evans, our pitcher, she's always, we feel like when she's pitching, we have a chance. So that we, and then first game we scored 12 runs, and then tonight we scored 1. So we have, a little work to do being consistent offensively, but I think our defense has been solid behind her. So I think all around we should have a good team. Just got to put it all together.
We're just getting to know each other, trying to figure out what it's like to be outside and not in a gym. So that's a little bit different. But it's our second game in, so we're just going to keep grinding it. We're really focused on right now probably getting to know each other as a staff and as a team, because these players come from 4, 5, 6 different club teams in the summer. We have a completely new staff because it's a new season to us. So we're just trying to get a feel for each other. Trying to speak the same language at this point is really kind of our next objective.
I think we're a pretty scrappy team. We will push a couple runs across. We have some good pitching, some good defense, although we had a couple errors today, but hopefully we can clean those up in the next couple weeks and not have those happen again. We had some easy plays that we had errors on, and we just need to clean that up. If they're going to give us some easy ground balls, we have to make sure to take them. So I think we need to clean that up. We want to add some more offensive plays in there. We want to add some more defensive plays in there too. So we're new playing together, so we're still getting to know each other. So hopefully we can get some more growth and get some more advanced stuff going too.
We have awesome leaders on this team. We are a young team, which is awesome because that means we are allowed to grow and continue to grow. And we have the older ladies to help push them and to help get them where we need to be. And right now, we're just getting better one step at a time, and that's what our goal is.
So we'll have a chance to go much deeper into some highlights, some big games to watch for, some of the top players in the coming weeks of Fastpitch Focus. But for now, just good to hear from the coaches and see who's been performing well so far. Let's move to Class A now, where Dakota Valley has jumped out to a 7-0 start. And we got a chance to catch up with their head coach, T.C. Winant, and talk to him about just getting games in this early, how his team has responded to playing spring softball, and some of the strengths of their team.
Well, first of all, congratulations for getting 7 games in. That's already a great start.
Well, two-factor there. One, we're in the south of South Dakota, so I call it the baby Florida of South Dakota. So we get a little less rain and a little more sun, and on that same, so we had better weather. They had more snow up north, so that held them back. But on the flip side of it, my assistant coach and myself and a couple of the random parents, we were throwing tarps on the field. It would snow on the tarp. We'd pull the snow to the center, scoop it off onto little 4-wheelers, haul it off. And so we worked very hard in freezing temperatures, overalls on and all this to be in position to play. And so a lot of games have gotten flipped to our location due to the weather. So we kind of have had the home field advantage for 7 games so far.
Let's talk about the team a little bit. First of all, was it an issue at all to get kids to go out for spring softball? Just, maybe conflicts with track, or I don't know. Was it an issue, or
Nope.
were people excited about it?
Not at all. People are excited about it. The cool thing down here, and again, I attribute a little bit of this to our success, is we've been playing what I'll call a high school team against travel ball teams for years. We've been a Dakota Valley team, since way back when. I think we won Class C state in 2011 for the first time, way back when I was coaching. First time ever. Won it again in 2013. Got second place in the fall 2012. So we kind of had a pretty good run, but we were playing kids from all Dakota Valley against the travel ball, go get the best kids from wherever type teams for a number of years and trying to compete.
That's not easy.
No, but now it's paying its dividends because
Right.
the other schools are trying to figure out how to rope those kids back into the high school program. And some of them are young. Some of them are starting with some young kids because, if you're a junior already on a travel ball team, you're probably going to stay there. And I don't blame you. So some are a little young. Some have, got more of a teen unity going on. So, yeah, so we've been designed for it for a while.
Tell me just about the makeup of this team and some of the strengths.
I've been preaching this for a while now. We've got 23 girls out for softball, and we are set up with a few in H age group. So we're set up to be successful for a while. We'll be in the mix for a lengthy amount of time based on how our numbers are balanced out. And good and bad, it's frustrating for me every night trying to make a lineup because we are so deep. I may not have the best athletes in the state, but I have the deepest bench. I would argue against anybody. You can probably go to Class A with that even, or Double A, I mean. We are deep and balanced. And so we're pretty fortunate that way. So I can go, heck, I've got some 8th graders that could potentially be in the mix for the varsity starting roles. So I'm fortunate to be balanced.
So Dakota Valley off to a great start, averaging 14 runs per game, really laying into the ball so far. And they come in at number 1 on our new rankings in Class A. At number 2, West Central. Big wins over EPJ and Lennox, a 17-0 win over Lennox, 15-0 win over Elk Point Jefferson, and they've got a huge game coming up against T-Area coming up on Saturday, another ranked team. Number 3, we've got Del Rapids. They got a great win, a 2-1 win over Madison to get things going on Friday. Good win for them. And number 4, T-Area. They played the tightest game so far with Dakota Valley. 4-7 game, a good hitting team in T-Area. They're going to challenge themselves throughout the year, so definitely a team to watch. And number 5, Madison. Don't let their record deceive you. This is a team definitely to watch this year. They played a close one with Del Rapids, as we said. Had trouble with Dakota Valley, but as the year goes on, I think Madison's definitely a team to watch. Another couple good teams to look at. Vermilion is a team that you're going to have to keep an eye on. Winner has done a great job so far this year and could be one of those teams from out west to get things done in Class A. And Elk Point Jefferson, another team. Not many wins so far, but this is a team that has done well in Class B and in the summers and in the fall. And I think they're a team that could make some noise here in Class A as well. Another team that's really challenged themselves so far, Beersford. Again, the record hasn't really showed because they've played some of these top teams to get things started, but I think this is a team that is headed in the right direction and has a chance to really be in that top 8 come state tournament time at the end of the year. All right, let's move on to Class B now. And again, these rankings, I don't think they mean much, but it does help us get a little bit of a context into who to expect to be good this year. But very few games so far played in Class B as some of these fields still drying out. But so far, I think Alcester Hudson seems to be the consensus number 1 team in Class B. They beat Elk Point Jefferson, a good Class A team, and again, played B in the summers. And that was an impressive win for one. And then 2 big wins against ORR and a big win against Coleman Egan last Tuesday. So I think Alcester Hudson has got to be one of those teams in the mix. Bonham, another team in that mix. They beat Scotland Menno, Gayville Vallon, and Freeman Marion Freeman Academy, a team who I also have in my top 5. So some good wins early on for Bonham. Watch for them. Castlewood, talent-wise, a lot of talent on this team. They've got seniors that can really help make this team go. Their coach, Craig Horn, has challenged themselves with a really tough schedule to get started. They played Madison on Tuesday, a team a class above them. Didn't fare well, but this is definitely a team in Class B to watch for. In at number 4, Freeman Marion Freeman Academy. Their only loss so far to Bonham. They put up 30 runs versus Gayville Vallon and 29 versus Avon. A team that can definitely generate some runs and look for them to be an offensive powerhouse in Class B. And then Hanson. They lost to Castlewood early on, and then Winter, a team a class above them. Both were close, though, and they got quality wins against Viborg Hurley and ORR to get things going. So Class B just getting started, and a lot of teams in the mix there as well. It's going to be hard to really gauge how those teams are doing until a couple more weeks of games are under the belt. That's it for Fast Pitch Focus. We'll bring you more highlights, games to watch, players to watch, coach conversations, and just general fast pitch talk across the state of South Dakota coming up next week.